Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. For those of you that are new, welcome to Debos Nation. Today's segment is a little bit different than what I normally would do. I normally do a video on somebody else. But in this particular instance, it's more of what somebody said and to inform everybody of what he said. So we're going to take a look at DMA, Denver Metro Audits, and he's going to explain away how he's going to do away with the military, the police, the government, and he's also has a way of showing us how he's going to do that. Well, let's take a look.
Something along the lines of defund the IRS. Here's the thing, guys, about the IRS, if you didn't know about it, there's actually no federal law that states that you have to pay a federal income tax, right? So literally what the IRS is a strong arm. It's like a mafia style strong arm that the government uses to extort money from you. There's no law, guys. There's actually lots of interviews that I've seen about IRS agents. There's this one IRS agent that really stuck with me, and he said, you know, somebody told me that there's no law that says you have to pay a federal income tax. And I was like, of course there's a law, right? I've been an IRS agent for I don't know how many years. Of course there's a law. And he
A wise man once told me, a long time ago, that there's only 3 guarantees in life. One is that you're going to have life, so everybody's going to be born. 2, you're also going to experience death, so everybody will die. And 3, you'll always have to pay taxes.
was like, I started doing some research just to make sure that there's a law. And after about 3 months of research, I realized there's no law, and that what I'm doing is actually literally illegal. And again, it's a strong arm mafia style entity that the government uses to steal money from you. And he quit his job. He quit. A lot of IRS agents quit their job when they realized this. It's theft, guys. And the reason why taxation is theft, guys, is because it's a fundamental principle, right?
Okay, somebody go check the water in Denver because this guy is completely off the wall. He's gone nuts.
It resonates with me. So I've memorized a lot of the stuff that he says. So people, you know, oh, DMA just he copies Adam, whatever, follows his coattails, stuff like that. So yeah, that's true. I don't care. There's no need for me to change it. So if it sounds like I'm copying him verbatim, I probably am. So the thing about taxation is that it's a fundamental principle that we all learned when we were children, right? Is don't hit, right? It wasn't don't hit unless you're government or unless you're a man with a badge and a gun, right? It's just don't hit.
Did he just say hitting? What the hell does hitting have to do with paying taxes? Good thing you explained yourself on that one, because I thought you were going to say something stupid.
So what gives government the right to hit, right? See, the thing about taxation is violent. Have you ever tried not paying your taxes? Do you know what would happen to you if you did? Men with guns would come and take you away and lock you in a cage.
With you, it's all about men with guns, eh? You can't even say the word police. That has nothing to do with your vocabulary. What about roads and highways and infrastructure? What about sewer and septic and garbage pickup? Like, if you can't do this yourself, you're going to have to pay somebody else to do it. And what happens if somebody else is a little bit better at doing that stuff than you are, and then somebody has their shit all over the road, and that you have to stink up the whole neighborhood because your septic isn't as good as your neighbor's septic because he is richer than you are? What about the schools and the education and the hospitals that they build? And what about the social programs that are underfunded? Have you ever thought of any of that? None of that. And your big sister is worried about the homeless? What about the homeless that's going to happen whenever you bring in your structure?
I say that's violent, right? Because taking something by force is immoral. Don't hit, remember? I can't just say, hey, there's this homeless guy over here with a sign begging for money. He's hungry, hasn't eaten in like 2 days. So I'm going to go steal this lady's purse and give this guy the money so he can eat. That's immoral, right? Well, that's the same thing that the government does, guys. What gives government the right to do that, but I can't?
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. May God have mercy on your soul.
They take something by force. So people say, well, taxation is it's just the price that you pay to live in a civilized society. Well, for me, it's the price that I pay to not go to jail.
Your system would never work, not in a million years. No matter what you do, your system would fail, and it would fail large. You can't even overtake the librarian.
You know what I mean? I'd be locked in a cage and lose all my freedom. The thing is that everything that government provides, that people think that we have to have government for, we couldn't survive as a society without government. All of those things can be provided peacefully and cooperatively through the free market.
I'm sorry, I'm allergic to bullshit.
Right? The free market handles everything better because there's competition, right? Why do you think that everything that the government takes over goes to shit?
You're absolutely sickening to watch. You're sickening to listen to because your bureaucratic bullshit about you being so patriotic, and yet you hate free speech. You hate the Constitution. You hate everything about this country.
So people are like, oh, well, who will build the roads? Right? That's like the main liberal argument. Who will build the roads if we don't have government? So to say like who will build the roads, that's the equivalent of saying without government, without pointing guns at people and making people do stuff, we can't come up with a way peacefully and cooperatively as a society to build a road.
You talk about putting guns in people's faces. In your First Amendment auditing career, have you ever been held at gunpoint?
You know what I mean? Like, give your fellow man some credit, right? I mean, come on, guys. This is super primitive type of stuff. So, then we have the thing about police, right? There's lots of arguments, guys. Like, well, we have to have police because without police, there'd just be crime would be going rampant, right? Here's the thing, guys. Police, they don't actually prevent crime, right?
Wrong, wrong. Really? I mean, come on, DMA. Stick to your 222, 333, 444s. Because this is not for you. You haven't got a clue. Policing is all about prevention. What about CEPDED, crime prevention through environmental design? You know, what about the programs like victim services or volunteer programs that are out there? Ignore the obvious. Concentrate on trouble areas like your community, which is a trouble area. Yes, they're going to be focusing on you guys because you're acting very suspicious all the time. You don't answer questions. You don't identify. You act like you own the place. You guys can't figure out your own lives, let alone everybody else's.
What they do is they show up after the crime is committed and they take some notes. And maybe they catch the guy, maybe they don't. But the point is they don't actually prevent the crime from happening. And we actually would be better off without police. And if you think that I'm wrong, guys, check this out. Lackluster, who is, everyone knows him, right? He's huge. Same with James Freeman. James Freeman and Lackluster, I say this a lot, guys, they're both anarcho-capitalists. They believe that we'd be better off as a society with the abolition of the state completely. So if you think that we can't function without police, guys, I left the link in this video to a Lackluster video. It's actually the one that he showcased of me, but I just noted this because I've seen this one. And he talks about how private police would be advantageous for us as a society because it's the Terry DeGilio one where I got assaulted for like 20 minutes straight and the cops sat there and did nothing. So he basically explains that the cops, they already don't even do their job, guys. They already don't protect you. They don't prevent crime. And we'd be better off. So check out that video, guys. That'll explain that in more detail of why and how we can function as a society with private police. And here's the thing, guys. Well,
I really think that is probably one of the stupidest things I've ever heard. You can call the Pope for all I care. I'm telling you, it's the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard in your life. You have no idea how to handle anything. You're going to try and go to every municipality, every hamlet, every town, city, village in the U.S. And you're going to have private security running the show and no policing? What are we on the honor system now with the with criminals? Yeah, that works out well. Oh my god! And who's going to run everything?
What if you got to keep 100% of your income? Okay, let's say that we pay taxes, and like I said, most Americans pay about 50% of their income to the government, not just through taxes, right? Because you have, of course, your income tax, you have your sales tax, all right? But that's just the basic taxes, guys. Then you have more taxes, like if you own property, like I own this little condo that I have, I own it. But if I want to continue to own it, then I have to pay rent to the government for the rest of my life. Otherwise, men with guns come and they kick me out and they steal my property.
We follow orders, son. We follow orders or people die. It's that simple. Son, we live in a world that has walls, and those walls have to be guarded by men with guns.
You can't really own property in this country, right? And then you have, licenses and permits that you've acquired. Like if you want to get a permit to do work on your own home, you got to pay the government, right? You got some bullshit speeding ticket, you got to pay the government. You got to register your vehicle, you got to pay the government. Add everything up that you pay, guys, not just taxes. And then figure out how much money you pay to the government every year. It's about 6 months.
That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works.
And people think they're free. Again, guys, we're not really free Americans. That's just a little catchy thing that I say.
Do you really think that anybody believes anything that comes out of your sewer hole? You're only doing this for clicks and views. You could give two shits about this country. You're not doing this for the people. You're just lying to everybody. You're lying to yourself because you live in an echo chamber instead of a fishbowl. What an idiot.
We're more like James Freeman would say, free-range slavemen. Or like free-range chicken. They're not really free. They just have a bigger cage, right? And one thing that he said that really struck a chord with me was that we used to have slaves in this country. And slaves would work for food. They get food and they get shelter. Nowadays, people work for a green piece of paper. And what do we do with that? We buy food and we buy shelter, right? Now, there are some people that have extra money and they can do vacations. The vast majority of Americans, guys, live paycheck to paycheck. I'm one of them. If you're watching this, you're probably one of them. You don't have tons of money. You work so that you can live, so you cannot be homeless, right? So you can pay your rent and buy food. Now, don't get me wrong, guys. I'm not comparing it. Of course, slave days was far more tyrannical and crazy and abusive.
Now, prior planning prevents poor performance. You have no prior planning in this. You have no prevention in this. You have no police. What are you going to call? Ghostbusters? And your poor performance, you haven't proven anything other than them going to jail. And you haven't met any of the thresholds that are discussed here.
But it's a basic principle, right? People think that they're free in this country. You're not free in this country, okay? Working 6 months out of the year just to give money to the government, that's not freedom, guys. That's slavery. It's debt slavery. It's just not slavery in chains, right? So another argument, guys, would be, right on, Frank Pants. Thanks for coming in, bro. I know I'm challenging your beliefs a little bit, Frank Pants, because you said support all the veterans and stuff like that, and I'm trying to open your guys' mind. I know that my viewers have an open mind, and if you have an open mind, it's only a matter of time before you kind of click to the true message of real liberty, guys. So one of the main arguments,
I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
That people say of why we have to have a government, guys, is because we could be invaded, right? Who's going to protect us from being invaded without a government? Here's the thing, is that the Second Amendment is actually, like the founders of this country, they were actually against the idea of a standing army because they knew that governments don't actually make you more safe, right? Like whenever they understood that countries don't attack countries, governments attack governments, right?
What in the hell did he say? Did he just say countries don't attack countries, governments attack governments? Yeah, well, the little government that you're going to form, because somebody has to lead somebody, And your little government's going to get squashed by everybody. So that's exactly the place you don't want to be. What are you, nuts?
It's not like it's me and you versus these people. Like, people associate themselves as a member of a collective. Like, oh, we bombed Syria and we did this, we did that. No, we didn't do anything, guys. It's not us. It's the United States government. Governments attack governments, and when you have a government like the United States that likes to use its military as its own personal police and police the world, you get what's called blowback, that the CIA has known about for years, where you create enemies faster than you can kill them. But see, the thing is that the war on terror and all of the wars in the entire history have never really been about freedom, guys. It's more about expanding your power rackets, right? And power and control around money, right? That's really what it is. Yeah, good point. Thanks, Public Tour. Another form of dictatorship is being in a prison cell where you can't see the bars and you think you're free. It's an illusion, guys. It's an illusion. They're like, let's let these slaves, they can have some money. You know what I mean? They can have, a couple toys, they got a boat, I got some dirt bikes, and they think they're free,
Stop it. Get some help.
right? I mean, it's just crazy, guys. So here's the thing. Well, we have to have government because they provide services, right? Even though it's through theft and it's through violence and coercion. Well, what if we'll get back to the military thing, but real quick, I want to touch on people like the safety net stuff, right? Like, well, I have to have the government because they give me Medicaid and they give me food stamps because there's a lot of people in poverty in this country, a lot of them. But the thing is, guys, is the government keeps you in poverty. They perpetuate poverty in this country. What if you just got to double your income? What if you got to keep 100% of your income? Like I said, most Americans pay 50%. Even if you make minimum wage, what if you just doubled it? Think how much better off you'd be. And yeah, you'd have to pay for more things that the government provide, but at least you'd be paying for things that you want to pay for. You wouldn't be funding wars or, funding the police to violate your rights. You could choose for the things that you want to pay for, right? Roads. Oh, well, there'd be just tolls all over the place in roads. There'd probably be more tolls, right? Because every road would be privatized, but
Nobody is going to go for this system. Nobody is going to give you a penny. And I'm telling you, what about the roads that are already there? Who tallies them up? And where's this money going to be kept? And all this type of stuff. Like, you're absolutely delusional, kid. If you don't think that, oh, I got no words.
not every road is going to be. It's not like you have to pay $30 every time you leave your house in tolls. Like, there's plenty of ways to fund roads, guys. Let me just tell you one real quick. If somebody owns a road, like let's see here in Denver, if I own Broadway, there's tons of businesses on Broadway. That's my road. So what I would do if somebody, like let's say McDonald's, they want to come and they want to set up shop on my road. Well, then I would charge them a fee to give an entrance from my road to their property. And it would be like a monthly fee that you have to pay me. It's a rent that I'm charging you to set up shop on my road. And that would just, the money that they pay me, I would use to maintenance the roads, right? To do all the stuff I need to do to take care of the roads. And it would just go down as a cost of doing business, just like any other cost of doing business, right?
Nope. Not going to work. Not going to happen. You're delusional. This would cause a complete unrest. Could you imagine the GPS systems? Oh, I can't go down that road. That's Bobby's road. I can't go down that road. That's Julie's road. I can't. Oh, can I go down that road? I don't know that guy. Give me a break.
And as soon as the need is great enough for somebody to build a road and put a road there, then the road will be built. It'll be a private road that somebody will build. It'll just be like an investment. I'm going to build this road so that people can set businesses on my road and I can make money off of it, guys. The free market, right? So who will build the roads? Come on, guys. This is serious, man.
His last words right there were, let's get serious. And I want you to Really pay attention to this next part. This next part, you will not believe what you're about to hear. If you think it's just about First Amendment auditing and people carrying cameras around, no, it's much more than that.
All right, so let's get back to the military stuff. Again, guys, countries don't attack countries, governments attack governments, right? So that's the thing. That's what the Second Amendment is about. The Second Amendment, a lot of liberals will say, oh, well, we don't need an AR-15. Who needs an AR-15 for hunting? That's what they say. Hunting? When has the Second Amendment ever been about hunting, guys? Never. The Second Amendment is about preserving liberty from tyranny. The founders of this country were against the idea of standing army because they knew that standing armies made you less safe. They wanted us to have well-organized militias, right? That's what we need, guys. We need well-organized militias. In World War II, when Hirohito was asked why he didn't invade the mainland, he said, quote, because there would be a rifle behind every blade of grass.
We need to ask you some questions, okay?
And that's your real defense against being invaded, guys, is a well-armed population. So we don't need to go on the defensive on the Second Amendment. We need to keep our AR-15s. No, we need fully automatic weapons, guys. We need grenade launchers. We need tanks. We need well-organized militias that refuse to be governed.
Well-organized militias who refuse to be governed. What does that sound like? That sounds like complete tyranny to me, doesn't it? Here we go, North Korea, they keep bringing that up. Maybe they should go visit there and they would find out what tyranny is all about because they have no idea what a tyrant is.
That's your best defense against being invaded. Now, why would someone want to invade the United States in the first place, right? What would be their reasoning? What would be the bad thing about it even happening, right? The reason it would be bad is because the would-be invaders are going to govern you, right? Just like your government's already doing right now. They're already governing you. They'd be like, hey, look at those Americans over there. They like paying taxes. Let's go over there and take over that tax space. So essentially, if you're a population, if you're a society that refuses to be governed, and we have a rifle behind every blade of grass, which...
All right, you want scenarios? I'll give you a scenario. Here's one. Your kids are out playing in the park, and you know how kids like to wander off a little bit, and then they wander off a little bit too far, and they find this.
Which is the reason why Hirohito didn't invade the mainland in World War II. People aren't going to try to invade you guys. Governments don't make you more safe. Standing armies don't make you more safe. They make you less safe, okay? I have some family members that were in the military, and I've done a lot of research. I've seen a lot of interviews from ex-military guys, and here's the thing. There's so many military that come back from the wars, and they're anti-military completely because they realize really what war is about, guys. It's not about your freedom. It's about the banksters and the politicians.
Well, hang on to your short and curlies, folks, because I think he just said banksters. That's a pretty funny shit right there.
It's not there for your freedom. It's there because some people make billions of dollars off war, right? And you can send naive young men and women out to go kill because they have this patriotism, America, right? Because see, remember the video we watched? That guy had like this sense of like, if you're going to talk crap about the military, we got a problem. Let's go outside, handle this. Because he's associating himself as a member of a collective. He's brainwashed. I'm a member of a collective, America. Don't talk bad about the military. Fight for your rights.
You serious?
Right? And here's the thing is that you can't get away with the wars that you could get away with back in like Vietnam days and stuff, right? The huge wars, and not to say that like the war on terror and all the American lives lost in these wars aren't a travesty, but they can't get away with those wars anymore because with technology today, you can Skype someone in the Middle East and see that they're just a human being.
This guy is fucking stupid!
Right? Just like you and me. Because, it's propaganda. They're animals over there. They're animals. Right? They're just like the propaganda, like the movies. Like, remember that movie Sniper with Chris Kyle? Chris Kyle story. Remember that movie, guys? Where he says, oh, he's on the phone with his wife. They're animals over here. They're animals. It's propaganda, guys. They're not animals. They're protecting their homeland. What would you do if somebody came to the United States as an invader because they're trying to fight some terrorists that we have? They're trying to fight the gangs that we have in South Central, right? In New York and stuff. They're fighting the gangs. They came in because they're going to police the world. And they bombed your city, and they bombed your wife and kids got killed.
No, don't like that.
I must break you.
Because there's tanks rolling down enforcing martial law, and everything's gone. You lost your wife and kids. What's gonna happen? You're gonna be like, dude, fuck these guys, man. I'm gonna join ISIS. I'm gonna join whatever. I'm gonna get some revenge.
Despite our repeated warnings, he counted on America to be passive. He counted wrong.
Okay, folks, so I'm going to leave that there. And there you've heard it right from his own mouth, DMA, Denver Metro Audits. I'm going to leave the original link to this video in the description box below if you want to see it. I cut off almost an hour of this because it was about an hour and 28 minutes or something like that. Or it was a live stream that he did, and I picked out about a half an hour worth of video for you. So I will do that, and please share, like, and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. And Debo's out.